Now, our correspondent Nick Harper is with us now from Wilmington, Delaware, where Joe Biden is tonight. Now, Nick, we understand that Joe Biden, well, he might be about to speak in the not too distant future.
That's right. Well, we heard about 25 minutes ago that he was going to speak in 20 minutes. That was 5 minutes ago. So he hasn't quite hit the time that he said he was going to speak, but we are expecting that to happen anytime soon. He's been watching the results come in a little way away with his family during the course of this evening, but there has been a Biden event rally taking place the other side of that building just behind me. Now, that is where he is going to speak. They've been setting up a stage for several days, getting it ready with a podium there in the centre. The big question, though, is what is Joe Biden going to say? Normally on election night, you either come out to give a concession speech or to give a victory speech. We are nowhere near finding out the result of this election, finding out who the winner is. It seems somewhat strange for Joe Biden to be coming out at this stage in the evening, but bear in mind, we were told going into this that there could be some states that we may not get results back on for several days. This may be a message of support, therefore, by Joe Biden. But like I say, it does seem somewhat unclear at exactly what he may be saying, considering we're still very much in that waiting game type phase of the night.
Absolutely, Nick. So, I mean, it's very early in the night to either give a concession or a victory speech. Given that as we look at this unfolding, it's very, very close, could it be a unity speech from Joe Biden if America is sitting around for days or weeks waiting to know who their president is? Could he be getting out there early and giving the message of, well, to be patient and to be unified?
I think that's very likely to be the message and a tone that he would want to try and set, that idea of patience, because that uncertainty, especially if it spreads over several days, is the scenario that many people have been nervous about going into this. That possibility that while we're waiting for results, we're likely to see rallies, demonstrations, protests, potentially even violence on some of the streets of some of the major cities across the United States. So yes, Joe Biden likely to want to get out in front of that, to not fan the flames of that type of thing as he has accused his rival President Trump of in the past, but instead try and promote that idea of unity, even though we still seem a long way off from getting the results and therefore finding out whether or not Joe Biden has won or lost.
So there are a few key states that have already fallen in favour of Donald Trump. What's Joe Biden's path to victory here?
Well, he's picked up a couple within the space of the last hour, Minnesota and New Hampshire, both states that Donald Trump narrowly lost 4 years ago, both states that he was hoping to try and win this time around. He spent a lot of time campaigning in both Minnesota and New Hampshire. He was hoping to pick them up. By Joe Biden winning those two states, it narrows Donald Trump's path. There are some big states that the Biden campaign were hoping to get and win easily earlier in the night, the likes of Florida, Georgia, North Carolina. Those three have not yet been called, but they seem to be heading in the direction of Donald Trump. So it means that we are the traditional blue wall, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, all three that are traditionally Democratic states, but Donald Trump won very narrowly by less than 1% 4 years ago. Now, those are states that Joe Biden is hoping to flip back, and it is likely that this presidency could be decided on those. But one other state that's also in play, the state of Arizona, that hasn't voted for a Democrat in 24 years, not since Bill Clinton. It looks as if Joe Biden is in with a shout of picking up that state. It's not confirmed yet, but he is still hoping that it could go his way. If it does, that considerably narrows Donald Trump's path to victory and therefore increases Joe Biden's. With Arizona, he could still, because President Trump absolutely needs to win Pennsylvania if he's going to retain a second term in office.
Nick, we've got a slightly dodgy line here, but I'm just interested in this before you go, which is we can see some pictures here of the cars. Obviously, Joe Biden's had these rallies where you drive up in your car, and clearly there's a crowd starting to gather. Give us a bit of a feel for who's there, what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. You may have been able to hear some of the honking of the horns. It is a drive-in event, like the drive-in rallies that he's held throughout, marking that difference to President Trump. He's called President Trump's rallies super spreader events. The fact that people are packed in closely together, often not wearing masks. Instead, Joe Biden has been holding drive-in rallies like drive-in movies. You turn up in your car, you listen to the speech through the radio in your car, you don't step outside. There's no chance of catching COVID-19. This event tonight, it's exactly like that. Joe Biden has decided to speak outside with people surrounding him in their cars. It is very much the definition of COVID-19 campaigning and rally events, and that's what we'll be seeing tonight, hopefully in a few minutes' time when Joe Biden takes to the stage.
Thanks, Nick. That is Nick Harper, who's been joining us from Wilmington, Delaware, where Joe Biden is, well, set up his election night camp, if you like. And as Nick was saying there, we were expecting Joe Biden to come and speak in, the warning bell went off 25 minutes ago, about 20 minutes ago, so he should be a few minutes away. If that happens, we'll go right there.